Urbek City Builder tips. This is a nearly finished game. I've used up all of the tiles. So I'm going to show you some tips for general gameplay when you get later in the game. The first thing that you're going to notice is that some of these buildings are incomplete. They haven't leveled up. Like over here, these buildings are mostly leveled up. But over here, I've got a bunch of buildings that have not leveled up yet. So I'm going to try and figure out why. I'm going to click on a building, and I want it to be an 8-story mixed office commercial use. And it says I need 10 or more connectivity. It only has 4. And I need more buildings to have retail. So first I'm going to solve the connectivity. I want to look at the roads. And I'm going to click on the road, and I'm going to put the subway station. And first I'm going to check. I don't see a subway station here. So I'm going to place one there. And maybe there's one. Yeah, there's one right there. But I don't see one over here. I'm going to place one over there. Can't tell. I don't see one over here. I'm going to place one over here. And then bus stops. I'm going to put a bus stop over here. And I'll put a bus stop over here. And I'm going to put a bus stop over here. It says no place to build bus stop. Got a bus stop over there. So that's going to increase my connectivity. I expect that these buildings are going to start leveling up. They will tell you immediately. Now you see it says ready to upgrade. Over here, it needs more buildings around it to upgrade. It says 5 or more leisure, currently 4. So he needs more leisure in the area. The obvious place to put it is where the trees are. This is a mini market. The 5-story mixed residential, which is built next to it, has food services, which means I do not need the mini market. So I'm going to get rid of the mini market, and I'm going to replace it with the bicycle parking because it has good connectivity. And it looks like there's an empty space right here. And in that empty space, I'm going to put a leisure building, in this case, the Urban Bar. I'm going to then check some of the buildings. Now it says ready to upgrade. This one says ready to upgrade. I'm going to look at the mixed-use commercial, and then I'm going to look at the 5-story, and then I'm going to look at the 8-story. They're all ready to upgrade up to the 8-story, and then it's going to have to wait for the surrounding buildings to upgrade. So these are pretty much all set. I'm going to check these over here. This is not ready to upgrade. Downtown 2-story. He needs connectivity, which means a bus stop, a bicycle, etc. I am going to put the subway station right here. Be aware, the subway station and the bus stops, they use some of the products that you manufacture, such as steel. So if you place a lot of stops down, you're going to be depleting your steel supply, and then you might have to hurry to go and produce more steel. So I'm going to check one of the buildings. It looks like it's ready to upgrade, but it's waiting for the surrounding buildings to upgrade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it the way it is, and I'm going to move on to another part of the map. Most of my terrain is used up. There's some empty spots over here because this is a university, and I wanted to build it near the pollution so that because it's not affected by pollution. So I had more land to build houses elsewhere. So one of the issues I have is how am I going to build more houses? One way I'm going to do it is I'm going to clear out all of the trees. You got to be careful because you don't want to knock down your buildings. So I'm going to knock the trees down like so. Oh, okay. So I clicked on a tree that was actually part of a school. so it destroyed the school. I'm going to have to build the school back. I don't know which one it was, so it was the high school. Because the high school doesn't have a tree, it must have been the elementary. I am going to remove these trees. So now we've got this area over here. I need to build road access. You want it to come down the middle, for example, here, and then connect the road like that. The roads don't have to connect. If you don't connect the roads, the game doesn't care. I'm going to build this going out like that and then down, and I'll build something here. These houses probably have everything they need because everything they need was already built for the surrounding buildings. And you can see that there is a place where I did not put down a property, which is right here. I'm going to put some houses here. Some of the houses are already starting to populate, and I'm going to click through. And based on what I'm seeing, all of them are going to grow to the taller 8-story building, not the 12-story, but the 8-story. So that is how I fix that area. All of this, all these trees are going to be taken out also. We got some small houses over here. The windmill takes up valuable land, doesn't produce a lot of electricity. So what I'm going to be doing is eventually I'm going to delete it and then replace the energy with a nuclear power plant. This is a shopping mall, and I had to build a lot of bike parking, and there's another shopping mall here. There's no benefit from having two shopping malls. The reason why I did it is because it has 10 retail, and some buildings say you need to have a certain amount of retail within a certain radius. This building says 10 retail, and it takes up 9 squares. It counts as one building. So if it says you have to have 15 or more squares with 8 residents, it doesn't mean square, it means buildings. I'm looking for the exact wording. I don't see it. But again, it only counts as one retail. Every building, even if it occupies 2 spaces, is one retail. This building, this tall one, these are the important ones because this is where you're going to produce a lot of food and, of course, electricity. When you get later in the game and you want to just have people and get rid of all the farms. Over here, I'm going to build houses. If you don't have enough supply, that's it. You gotta either make it or you ain't gonna have it. There's no option for you to trade or import anything. Because of the pollution, these are just gonna be shanty towns. Maybe I'll fix it later. And I could easily, just put a road piece here, build more houses. Be careful when a building grows taller because it might produce less. If you're producing 1,000 food and then your building becomes bigger and then you're only producing 950 food, you're going to have a food shortage. And you're not going to understand why until you discover that tip. This type of tile I'm not that happy with. It's called an anarchist commune because it doesn't allow your other buildings to grow taller. So eventually I'm probably going to delete it. You see over here it says it needs 90 squares. There's only 89. Guess who's going to go? So I'm going to build 9 more potential buildings. Although, you know what? When this one upgrades, it would have fixed the problem. I don't like these buildings. I'm going to destroy them all. Okay, so I will work on which area. This looks like it could grow over here. So this area is not growing. I've got the two shopping malls, which is kind of a waste. I'm going to delete one of the shopping malls, and I'm going to remove the trees, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. This tree over here is a park. I'm going to move it to another square probably. Okay, so to build houses, you would be able to go here and here, going up to there, maybe like that. And then over here, up to here. And then in this extra area, you're going to build leisure and other items. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of time before those can populate. And I'm checking, it says distance to roads 3 squares, which means that that is fine. Over here, I would probably build a park between the two windmills. So there goes the neighborhood. We'll wait until later when they grow to see what I'm going to build over here. So we got a lot of buildings over here. This is Lumberjack. He's going to have to go because I'm going to cut all these trees down. He will probably become abandoned once I cut all the trees down. There's another one next to it over here. Got a small building. He's going to grow eventually. You see how it's waiting to grow. What do we got over here? When you do your iron mine, you want to be very careful because they're very precious buildings. You can only plant a maximum of 4 and you need the buildings. So be careful when you put the iron mine down. You'll understand when you get to doing it. With the grain silo, you cannot upgrade it near the fruit, the orchards, because the upgraded grain silo creates pollution. And when it creates pollution, all of your trees are going to die. The pumpkins are okay, but in general, I'm going to say that there's other buildings that are probably better. Over here, you see we've got all these small buildings. You don't want those small buildings. What you're going to do is you're going to plant... Oh, I accidentally deleted all this. There's no undo feature. It is because there's a little bit of delay on my game. So if you drag a mouse and you click on something, it thinks that it's where the mouse ends up, not where you click it. I'm going to build some houses over here. This is barren land. You can't put farms on it. And I'm guessing that I destroyed some orchards. I will replace the orchards. You know what Okay. This building is what they call a social building. He has 48 residents. He's not going to get the education, the food, the leisure, or the healthcare. But he's going to have a lot more residents than this small building, which is only 6 residents, that's never going to grow. So you want to build these buildings in the areas where it's not possible for the smaller buildings to grow. Here's another example. Also, where you have the industry, like a coal mine. See if I can find one. These buildings grow to be 3-story houses when you build them along the road. This is a park. If you build it next to some buildings, like you see Faculty of Mathematics, 4 or more campus park and a 2 radius. If you lay it down properly, you'll be able to do it. I've got a couple designs. There's a couple buildings that take advantage of parks. You need to have a row of the buildings that upgrade a row of parks on one side. and a row of parks on the other side, and you'll be able to upgrade those buildings and produce a lot more science. This one produces 15, and this one produces 200. That's like almost a 15% increase. I'm going to show you the tall buildings. I don't think that's it right there. No, it's not. Somewhere over here I have a tall 12-story building. But I don't know where it is, so I won't be able to demonstrate. They're not that useful. You can build them if you want. Maybe I might have destroyed mine. These are the buildings that you're going to want to use later in the game. They produce a lot of food. And also, don't forget to destroy your mini markets and your hardware shops, because later in the game, you're not going to need them, because hardware, the tools and food are provided by the mixed-use office buildings. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for this video. This is Urbek City Builder Tips. Go to my discussion forum at cheapbooks.cc. Go to Video Games, City Builders, Urbek City Builder. And watch the videos on my playlist. Go to cheapbooks.com to search for books and textbooks. Look at the links in the area below. See if there's one for Honey Gain, which is a passive income act. The most money I made was $20 in 1 month. You run the app, you run it on your cell phone, you run it on your PC, you can earn double. You resell your computer as a VPN or doing computations, and you can bring in a little bit of extra money. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.